Hello YouTube, my name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got plenty to go around. As you can tell by the title of my thumbnail, this is my AEW Dynamite review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys give this video 30 likes. Comment down below what you guys think of AEW Dynamite. Follow my social media down below in the description. And go check out my WWE NXT review and highlights. And go check out my WWE Raw review and highlights. And go check out my AEW WrestleDream review and highlights that I did on the channel. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Now, AEW Dynamite was a terrible show for what it was. There was nothing special after AEW WrestleDream. Now, I'm just going to say this. AEW WrestleDream was way better than AEW Dynamite tonight. Yeah, I said it. Alright, without further ado, let's go over this. AEW Dynamite was live from San Antonio, Texas, Boeing Center at Techport. Alright, it is Wednesday, my dudes. You know what that means. They say this every Wednesday. Commentary welcomes us to the show before running down the lineup for the night. Some news on the Fatal 4-Way Tag match as the winners will get to choose their first round opponents. With that, we go to video package highlight from a remarkable AEW WrestleDream pay-per-view event. Before I continue, Tony Khan there was a clip of Tony Khan say that Mercedes Moné has the power. Tony Khan, Mercedes Moné has 12 belts. What do you mean that Mercedes Moné has no power? You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you at AEW Full Gear, Mercedes Moné is going to get 13 belts. Then after AEW Full Gear, Mercedes Moné and Athena is going to get 14 belts. That's all I got to say. It's coming. All right. It says we cut to a footage from after the pay-per-view with Hangman Page in the trainer's room. The champ is angry about what the Ops did to him after the title match at AEW WrestleDream, promising to ruin Samoa Joe when he sees him. We head to ringside for our opening contest as the Ops head down the ramp to defend the AEW World Trio Championship. Out next are the Hurt Syndicate, making their way out to a big pop from the crowd as they head to the ring to get this match underway. So we get the first match at AEW Trios Championship match. So we get the Samoa Joe, Kazuchika Shibata, and the Powerhouse House defense against the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. This was a fun 6-man tag team match. After a stare down between both teams, we start things off with Kazuchika Shibata and Shelton Benjamin. Kazuchika Shibata with a side headlock, but Shelton Benjamin breaks free for one of his own. Kazuchika Shibata counters before being sent to the mat by Shelton Benjamin for an ankle lock, but the wrestler counters once more. He looks for a cover but gets rolled up by Shelton Benjamin for a near fall instead. Bobby Lashley tag in, and it doesn't take long for Powerhouse House to tag in, as well as Miss Meat chant from the crowd. Only for Samoa Joe tags himself in instead. Bobby Lashley had enough waiting around, sending Samoa Joe into the corner for strikes before the referee intervenes. Bobby Lashley gets into the corner now. Samoa Joe fighting back as he mocks the former tag champion. Bobby Lashley responds by taking Samoa Joe to the mat before bringing him back up for an Irish whip to the corner, but tag to Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin goes up top, but Samoa Joe dodges him, only for Shelton Benjamin to land on his feet. Samoa Joe tags in Powerhouse House, and the Powerhouse House sends Shelton Benjamin to the outside before Bobby Lashley comes in. Kazuchika Shibata comes in, followed by MVP and Samoa Joe. As things break down, MVP gets sent to the outside before Shelton Benjamin hits a running knee on Samoa Joe, only for Powerhouse House to take him down hard, only allowing Samoa Joe to run to a running Shelton Benjamin. The House take control as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Samoa Joe has Shelton Benjamin in the corner as he pummels away before bringing him to the middle for a chin lock. The referee checks on Shelton Benjamin. House slowly gets back to a vertical base to break free of the hole, but Samoa Joe shoves him towards the corner for some more strikes. Samoa Joe gets Shelton Benjamin to the ropes for even more damage, but Shelton Benjamin starts to fight back, eventually taking Samoa Joe to the mat with a DDT and a tag to Bobby Lashley. Kazuyoshi Shibata tags in as well, and Bobby Lashley tosses him around with these before landing a shot in the corner and taking the wrestler to the canvas. He sends the rest of the ops off the apron before taking Kazuyoshi Shibata down with the Dominator before Powerhouse House rushes into the ring for a standoff with Bobby Lashley amidst more meat chant. The two trade strikes until Bobby Lashley spins the Powerhouse Hobbs around for a hurt lock, only for Powerhouse Hobbs to break free. Both men take each other out with a shoulder tackle, and Bobby Lashley slowly gets up only to a PK from Kazuyoshi Shibata, who gets a near fall for the effort. MVP gets the tag and does Samoa Joe, who gets sent to the mat by MVP, who goes balling for an elbow drop in the cover. Kazuyoshi Shibata breaks the pin, and things break down once again between all 6 men. Before Samoa Joe goes for the Cocoon Clutch on MVP. MVP counters with a jawbreaker before the hold is changed in, and he goes for a playmaker before Ricochet runs down to the apron for a distraction. This allows Samoa Joe to counter for a Cocoon Clutch, and MVP is forced to submit. The winner by submission and still your AEW World Trio Champions, the Ops. Powerhouse House, Samoa Joe, and Kazuyoshi Shibata. This was a fun 6-man tag team match. The Hurt Syndicate chase after the demand to the back as Tony Schiavone enters the ring to interview the champions, namely Samoa Joe, find out why they did what they did on Saturday at AEW WrestleDream. Samoa Joe runs down San Antonio before insisting that Page is not the man he says he is. He mocks the champ, saying he will slap Page around, among other things. I'm not sure I can repeat verbatim here before saying the ops never lacking. Earlier today, Mercedes Moné arrived in a fancy ride with her champions and a tow for the celebration later tonight. And this doesn't make sense. I said this early in the beginning of my video. Tony Khan, there was a clip of Tony Khan saying that Mercedes Moné does not have any power. Mercedes Moné just won last week. Just won at AEW WrestleDream when she beat Mina for the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion. She has 12 belts. She has 11 belts. Now she has 12 belts. Not guaranteed at AEW Full Gear. When she beats Chris Statlander, Mercedes Moné is going to have 13 belts. And then after AEW Full Gear, Mercedes Moné and Athena are going to go after the Women's World Tag Team Champions. So Mercedes Moné is going to have 14 belts. I guarantee you that's going to happen. And I had to put that out there. Backstage, Chris Statlander addresses beating Toni Storm at AEW WrestleDream and the challenge by Mercedes Moné. She mocks Mercedes Moné for what she hasn't been able to do, accepting the challenge for AEW Full Gear before telling Mercedes Moné, have a good celebration tonight. It's over for Chris Statlander at AEW Full Gear. It is over for her. Chris Statlander is dropping the title, the AEW Women's World Championship, to Mercedes Moné to get 13. Watch, I tell you. It's going to happen. Alright. So we go to commercial break. We head back to ringside as Darby Allin's music hits, bringing out the man that will not quit at AEW WrestleDream. As Darby Allin hits the stage, he walks down the ramp holding the AEW flag that has sent his trip to Mount Everest. As he approaches the ring, he steps through the ropes, draping the flag over the AEW logo in the middle of the ring as the crowd chants his name. Darby Allin also has a microphone, and he addresses the people who said he could never be the face of this company. They say he might go and get himself killed and that bad for PR, but he argues the opposite, saying he willing to go place for this company that no one else would. I believe that Darby Allin is going to be the face of the company of AEW Dynamite. I believe that Darby Allin is going to get his moment, but it is what it is. He talks about the scars he still has for AEW WrestleDream Saturday, but before saying as long as the Death Riders are still breathing, Darby Allin will never be far behind. The crowd cheers as Darby Allin grabs the flag and leaves the ring. We go to footage from from after WrestleDream, AEW WrestleDream, Jack Perry talks about what it means for he and Luchasaurus to be out there again. Starting now, they're here to take it all, addressing whoever has our World Tag Team titles. And I'm just gonna say this: the match between Luchasaurus and the Young Bucks was the match of the night at AEW WrestleDream. Nobody's not gonna top that match. And that's all I gotta say. With that, we head back to ringside for our next match. Megan Bay and Penelope Ford are the first team entering the ring for this Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, with big implications at play regarding the upcoming tournament. The crowd to crown the inaugural AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. Up next are Sky Blue and Julia Hart representing the Triangle of Madness as commentary addresses the challenge made by Jamie Hayter for blood and guts. Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale enter next in matching gear, clearly messing with after their debut as a team at AEW WrestleDream. Rounding out the competitors are Queen Amnata and Jamie Hayter, who gets a big pop from the crowd as the pair head to the ring to get this match underway. So we get a fatal four-way tag team match. Megan Bay and Penelope Ford versus Jamie Hayter and Queen Amnata versus Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart. This fatal four-way tag team match, I ain't even gonna lie, this was a decent fatal four-way tag team match. Alright, we start off with Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale, the latter taking control as she sends Sky Blue to the mat. Tag to Harley Cameron for a double team as a side slam by Willow Nightingale leads to a wheelbarrow splash by Harley Cameron for a near fall. Sky Blue fights back before taking a couple kicks, dodging a third for a third kick of her own. Blonde tag by Penelope Ford, and the two get into it before Penelope Ford goes after Harley Cameron to send her to the corner. Tagged by Megan Bang now, who drives her shoulders into the midsection of Harley Cameron. Megan Bang and Penelope Ford look for a double suplex, but Willow Nightingale intervenes, only to be sent to the outside as the Sisters of Sin look to inflict some pain. Harley Cameron rolls away for a tag to Jamie Hayter, who goes after Megan Bang with force, only for the Megasis to counter a suplex. Jamie Hayter regained control, sending Megan Bang to the corner for a tag to Amnata. They look to double team Megan Bang, who responds with a suplex on both women before diving onto a group of ladies on the outside as we go to a full commercial break. We're back. We come back to see Sky Blue get a blonde tag going after Amnata, who takes the Sisters out before tagging in Will Nightingale out of desperation. Will Nightingale sends Julia Hart and Sky Blue into the corner for a hip attack, slamming Julia Hart down before landing a spine bust on Sky Blue for a 2 count. Harley Cameron comes in for the assist, but Megan Bang stops a Dr. Bomb attempt before Harley Cameron goes after the Megasis. Megan Bang drags Sky Blue to her corner for a tag to Penelope Ford, who gets launched at Willow Nightingale by Megan Bang for a near fall. Sky Blue and Julia Hart go after Megan Bang, but they take a stunner by Penelope Ford into a German suplex by the Megasis. She goes after Willow Nightingale now, hosting her up on her shoulders, but Willow Nightingale breaks free, sending Megan Bang into Penelope Ford. Megan Bang drops to the floor as Jamie Hayter gets a blonde tag from Willow Nightingale, going after Penelope Ford herself before Amnata joins in for a double team. Headbutt by the Queen leads into a hatred for the pin and the win. The winner by pinfall, Jamie Hayter and Queen Amnata. And this fatal four-way match was decent for what it was. Jamie Hayter makes good on what the teams has won here, choosing the Sisters of Sin as their first round opponents to a big pop from the crowd. Backstage, the Young Bucks won a money match. They say they'll fight anyone and teams with anyone for this match. Tony Khan comes out and accepts putting a $4,000 on a 4-on-4 All-Star match for Collision, eventually revealing that it would be Jurassic Express and Jesby versus the Young Bucks and these guys. He opens the door wider, and we see FTR step out alongside Big Show, the latter taking about the turn's history ahead of the big match on Saturday. So we go to commercial break. We head to ringside as Renee Paquette makes an introduction, hyping up Mercedes Moné's recent victories, welcoming 12-belt Moné to the ring as a group of men head out to a ramp with the process of belts, only for Minnie Moné to appear in the ring instead to a big pop. We already know that's Harley Cameron with that puppet. She talks about bad things happen in threes before the CEO music hits again to reveal a very angry Mercedes Moné telling the boys and Mercedes Moné and Renee Paquette to leave. She runs down Harley Cameron for making a mockery of her, poking fun at Harley Cameron, begging her to be their tag partner, and disrespecting the title celebration. She calls the fan stupid dumb marks before shoving the puppet face into the cake. She puts Harley Cameron from under the ring, under the table, only for Chris Statlander to appear as well, hosting the CEO up and sending her through the table. And this was a funny segment. The only thing that was good was the puppet. The puppet was funny. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This was a I ain't gonna lie, this was a funny segment for what it was. Alright. Big pop for Chris Allen and Harley Cameron as we're left with a fallen CEO and cake and table pieces before we cut away. We get adventures from after AEW WrestleDream as Jon Moxley deals with accepting his failure that night against Darby Allin. He says nobody in pro wrestling does what he does, running down the business for not meeting the standard he has set. He says Darby Allin made him a liar, but he knows who he is when he looks at himself in the mirror. We had to ringside as Kyle O'Reilly makes his entrance for our next match before Jon Moxley enters through the crowd gets this match underway. So we get Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly, and this match right here, I ain't gonna lie, this was I'm not gonna say this, but this match right here, I'm also say this was a pretty good match. Kyle O'Reilly looks for a kick on Jon Moxley to start things off. As Jon Moxley backs away, Kyle O'Reilly gets a hold on Jon Moxley, only for Jon Moxley to turn it around with the arm drag. Kyle O'Reilly captures a leg hook on Jon Moxley, who quickly scrambles to the ropes for a break. Both men back on their feet as Kyle O'Reilly takes a hold of the arm of Jon Moxley, bringing him down to the mat before Jon Moxley turns it around for a cross arm breaker. Kyle Fletcher managed to escape, trapping both arms for a near fall on Jon Moxley before catching Jon Moxley with a flipping arm bar. Jon Moxley tries to break free, but instead gets to his feet for a boot to the face of Kyle O'Reilly to break the hold. He starts to turn things around, catching the leg of Kyle O'Reilly before biting him in the head, and then shoves him away as we go to commercial break. We're back from break. Jon Moxley sent to the floor by Kyle O'Reilly as the crowd continues reminding Jon Moxley of his quitting at AEW WrestleDream. Kyle O'Reilly follows him to the outside for a dropkick off the apron before bringing Jon Moxley back to the ring. The two men fight on their feet until Jon Moxley gets caught with the ropes, allowing Kyle O'Reilly to lay in some more kicks for good measure before sending Jon Moxley to the mat. He brings him to the corner before getting a hammerlock going for a guillotine on Jon Moxley, transitioning into a triangle choke. Jon Moxley uses strength to get the ropes for a break before catapulting Kyle O'Reilly into the ropes. The fight ends up on the apron where Kyle O'Reilly rings Jon Moxley's arm to send him onto the hardest part of the ring. John Moxley moves back into the ring as Kyle O'Reilly goes up top for a knee drop, targeting the leg before making the corner. John Moxley nearly kick out and catching Kyle O'Reilly in a cross arm breaker before Kyle O'Reilly reversed into a ankle lock. John Moxley counters for a chin lock, but Kyle O'Reilly gets a cross arm breaker of his own on John Moxley, who brings Kyle O'Reilly up for a lariat to break free. Stalling power driver connects by Kyle O'Reilly, who kicks out, only for John Moxley to chance in a bulldog choke. The move is loose enough for Kyle O'Reilly to get to the ropes for a break. He dodges a curb stomp for a chop block. Rolling elbow connects, and Kyle O'Reilly managed to get an ankle lock after missing a rebound lariat. John Moxley is desperate to not give up, choosing instead the blading strike the referee, who was trying to strike the referee with a forearm blow. Others referees rush to the ring, calling for disqualification. The winner by disqualification, Kyle O'Reilly. And this match right here, this was a pretty good match in my opinion. The way that the referees was like breaking things up, man, they look like they want to go after the Death Riders. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but the referee had to break things up. Things break down like crazy as the conglomeration rushed down to intervene on Kyle O'Reilly's behalf, with the Death Riders coming in as well before they end up taking their leave from the ring. As we go to commercial break. Alright, so we go to commercial break. We come back to ringside. Our next match is already underway. Alright, so we get the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Daniel Garcia versus the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe and Roger Strong. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie, man. This was a okay match. What it was. Orange Cassidy and Yuta go at it, targeting near falls in the process. Yuta evades an Orange Punch attempt to tag in Daniel Garcia, who gets the upper hand on Cassidy before gloating to the crowd. This allows Mark Briscoe to tag in, and he lands some hard shots on Daniel Garcia before the latter turns it around. This doesn't last long as Mark Briscoe gets the jump on Daniel Garcia to attack Strong. Alright. He takes Daniel Garcia to his limit before a tag gets made to Claudio Castagnoli, who gets a flurry of offense by Roger Strong. Roger Strong gets sent to the corner where he knocked off Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta before going back at it with Claudio Castagnoli, who sends him to the outside. Roger Strong deals with Wheeler Yuta before looking for a dive on Claudio Castagnoli, who catches him only to be sent to the barricade for a backbreaker from Roderick Strong. Claudio Castagnoli is sent back into the ring, but Wheeler Yuta keeps Roger Strong distance long enough for Claudio Castagnoli to strike back. The Death Riders are firmly in control going into the break. Alright, so we go to commercial break. So back from the break, we find Roger Strong and Claudio Castagnoli countering the fight until they drop to the mat. Wheeler Yuta gets a tag first, followed closely by Orange Cassidy, who sends Wheeler Yuta out of the ring. Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia rush into the ring, but finds themselves being sent right back out by Orange Cassidy before Claudio Castagnoli comes in and takes Orange Cassidy out. But Mark Briscoe comes in, fighting off Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta at the same time. Alright, Claudio Castagnoli gets sent out as Wheeler Yuta starts to fight back, only for Mark Briscoe to take him down for a near fall. He looks for a J Driller, but Daniel Garcia intervenes and things quickly turns to chaos between all six men until until Will Yoda takes a big palm strike. He talks about Mark Briscoe and the rebound Bazook Bazaku knee takes Mark Briscoe out for a near fall before Roger Strong breaks up the pin attempt. He and Claudio Cascanoli leaves the ring as Ray Liotta hits some hammer and elbow shots. Breaks free, but only Ray Liotta get out of a J driller, only to be hit by a short arm lariat, allowing Mark Briscoe to land the J driller on him for the win. The winner by pinfall, the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Roger Shawn. This was a fun tag team match. What it was. Alright, no time for celebration as Pac rushed down to go after Mark Briscoe. Tomohiro Ishii comes out of the ring. But John Moxley makes his way out to the ring, allowing Mauricio Pierre to low blow Tomohiro. Dev Brothers looks to launch Orange Cassidy into the announcer table before Darby Allin comes out, landing a baseball bat shot on the leg of Claudio Castagnoli. The Dev Brothers take their leave through the crowd as we cut away. Backstage, we hear from Insane Mercedes Moné, who is quickly interrupted by Athena. She talks about both women making legacies of their own before offering to make one together as AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. Mercedes Moné likes the sound of that, and Athena tells her they're gonna get here cleaning up and ready for a million training. Like I said before, Mercedes Moné and Athena, they're gonna go after the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. So that's all I gotta say. It's happening after AEW Full Gear. I guarantee you. All right, back at ringside, Kyle Fletcher and the Don Callis makes an entrance as the crowd tells Don Callis how they feel about him. I already know how I feel about Don Callis. I am sick and tired of Don Callis every week that he comes out with the same thing. He needs to go. The Don Callis family needs to go away. That's just my opinion. But I'm sick and tired of the Don Callis family. I know I'm not the only person that sees it. Even Showstopper TV is sick and tired of the Don Callis family, and they need to go away too. Alright, shout out to my boy Showstopper TV for going live on YouTube, man. I had lots of fun in the stream. But anyway, let me continue. That's how I put that out there. Kyle Fletcher tells San Antonio to say his full name before talking up his defense against Mark Briscoe at AEW WrestleDream. This will not be back and forth. This is done between them. He gets slightly annoying at some minor mic troubles before saying he will be TNT champion for a very, very, very reach for the sky, boy. Mark Briscoe makes his way out to the ring to retort to the speak after what went down on Saturday at AEW WrestleDream. He's not looking to go a million more times against Kyle Fletcher. He's just looking for one more shot. What do you say, Kyle Fletcher? Don Callis speaks on behalf of Kyle Fletcher, having something to say to Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is a great wrestler and a great athlete. Don Callis has respected him from. I'm sorry. Don Callis has respect for him, but Mark Briscoe is sounding desperate. He acknowledged the kids Mark Briscoe. He acknowledges the kids Mark Briscoe has, and Don Callis them a financial burden. Mark Briscoe needs a family like the Don Callis family. Ain't no doggone way that Mark Briscoe's going to join the Don Callis family. Mark Briscoe ain't gonna never join the Don Callis family. He ain't gonna do that. Mark Briscoe is smarter than that. Anyway, let me continue. Don says he is telling Mark Briscoe what he needs to hear, telling him no to the TNT title match. Kyle Fletcher's music hits as he and Mark Briscoe stare down each other before before we go to commercial break. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, we get a bracket for the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament, which kicks off next week. Drop your predictions as determined to crown the first AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. You got Abnada and Jamie Hayter. You got Windsor and Rio. You got Thomas Storm and Mina, Megan Bain and Penelope Ford and TJ, and then you got Will Nightingale and Harley Cameron, and then you got Mercedes Moné and Athena. I already got my prediction. I got Mercedes Moné and Athena winning the whole tournament. They're gonna go after the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. I'm calling it straight down the middle. I definitely can see that happening. Backstage, we hear from. It says backstage we hear from Mina Shakara, who talks about teaming with Thomas Tony Storm in a tournament before the Kala interrupts. This leads to Mina challenging the Kala to a match at AEW Collision, which I don't watch anyway, which the Toxic Spider accepts. We head back to ringside for our main event as Bandito makes his entrance for this AEW Unified Championship match. Out next is the champion himself as Kazuchika Okada heads to the ring to get this match on the way. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get an AEW Unified Championship match. Kazuchika Okada defends against the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito. And this main event match right here, I ain't even gonna lie to you. This was a good main event match. But you already know who retained. The crowd cheers as the two men finally lock up, with Bandito sending the champ to the ropes for the referee intervenes. He sends Kazuchika Okada to the ropes again, but is taken down to the mat before the challenger does go to the ropes again, sending Kazuchika Okada down hard. He makes his gun motion at Okada, who swats it away before clubbing away at the Ring of Honor World Champion. This leads to Bandito sending the Unified Champion to the outside, only to be forced to chase him around the ring. Right into a boot by Okada. He fights Bandito on the guardrail before mocking the challenger's family in the front row. Okada brings Bandito to his feet before the challengers turn it around with a DDT off the apron, sending the champ down hard to the floor as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Okada has taken control as he lands an elbow drop on the challenger in the ring. He mocks the crowd, and this allows Bandito to take control with a tornado before sending the champ to the outside for a dive. He brings Okada back in the ring, setting up for a frog splash that gets a close 2 count. Okada rolls to the apron before Bandito intercepts, only to get hung up by his arm around the ropes. The champ rolls back into the ring. He goes after the arm and Bandito before the luchador fights back, only for Okada to kick back the injured shoulder. Okada lifts Bandito up, looking like he's going for a tombstone power driver, but instead landing a shoulder breaker on the challenger. Bandito rolls out of the ring, consulting the medic due to his condition, and Okada can just about smell the probable blood in the water, running after the challenger to bring him back in the ring. He goes after the shoulder some more, but before Bandito counters out, he brings the champ up for the X knee, but Okada breaks free, only for the luchador to get it on our second try. He hits the ropes and lands a 21 plex. but he struggles before the show comes before the show covers. This allows the champ a chance to kick out at 2. Bandito Bandito brings Okada to the corner, setting him up on the corner before Okada counters, looking for a powerbomb, but Bandito reverses into a Hurricanrana. Okada catches the challenger by surprise, only to be cradled by Bandito for a 2 count. Okada is back up, but the next challenger dodges a Rainmaker Lariat for one of his own. He lands the X knee, but Okada escapes a 21 pledge to land the Rainmaker Lariat for the win to retain. The win by pinfall is still your AEW Unified Champion Kazuchika Okada. And this was a I'm about to say this was a pretty good main event for what it was. The rest of the Don Callis family makes their way out to celebrate alongside Okada until Konosuke Takeshita music hits, getting a huge pop from the crowd as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion heads down the ramp. Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher leave the ring, trying to keep things calm, with the Alpha as Okada just seems to smile at the situation before standing telling with the rest of their family to bring AEW to a chance. Now I'm about sick of Don Callis' family, man. Nobody likes Don Callis. But anyway, quick results. AEW Trios Championship match, the Alps Samoa Joe, Kazuchika Shibata, and Powerhouse defeated the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. Four-way tag team fatal 4-way tag team match. Jamie Hayter and Queen Amnata defeated Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, Scott Blue, and Julia Hart, and Megan Bay and Penelope Ford. Kyle Riley defeated John Moxley. The conglomeration, Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe and Roger Swan defeated the Death Riders, Claudio Cascanoli, and Wheeler Yuta and Maria Shafir. AEW Unified Championship match, Kazuchika Okada defeated Bandito. Alright, and AEW Dynamite goes off the air. Alright, let me get my spin if I think about AEW Dynamite. Now, AEW Dynamite was a terrible show. There was nothing special on the show. But I can say this though, AEW WrestleDream was way better than AEW Dynamite. Yeah, I said it, and I know people that's going to agree with me in the comment section. But I know I'm not the only person that saw this clip. Myself, Matt Mooney, and Showstar TV are the only 3 that saw that clip of Tony Khan coming out of nowhere and say this from out of his own mouth that Mercedes Moné doesn't hold the power. Mercedes Moné got 12 belts. Can you imagine that Mercedes Moné beat Chris Statlander at AEW Full Gear to get 13 belts? Then after AEW Full Gear, Mercedes Moné and Athena are going after the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, which Mercedes Moné are going to get 14. I'm telling you right now, and I'm calling it straight down the middle. And that's all I gotta say. But anyway, if you guys enjoy my AEW Dynamite review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning. Get this video at least 30 likes in this video. Comment down below what you guys think of AEW Dynamite. I already said it. It was just a terrible show for what it was. But AEW WrestleDream was way better than AEW Dynamite tonight. And that's all I gotta say. But the one thing I like about AEW Dynamite was the Mercedes Moné 12 belt celebration. The puppet was the highlight of the night. That part was funny, and that's all I gotta say. But anyway, follow my social media down below in the description, and I'll go live on Twitch tomorrow for some retro gaming. So be there and be square. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much for coming out to my yesterday's live stream for my WWE NXT Watch Along live and reactions. I got double rated by TNO Crew and Showstopper TV with the party of 4 and TNO Crew with the party of 2. And we got some first time chatters, and the she devil and TNO Crew joined my Discord. So shout out to them both. Oh yeah, and that's all I gotta say. I'm going to be going live tomorrow on Twitch just to play some retro gaming. I want you guys to be there, man. I know I'm not gonna get a lot of views. I'm thinking I might get like 5 views, whatever, things like that. But we'll see. Maybe we might get 6 views. But I'm telling you this right now. I am going to raid TNO Crew tomorrow live on Twitch when I get done with my stream on Twitch. I'm just putting it out there. So TNO Crew, I know that you're gonna be streaming tomorrow, just like I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow. But I am going to raid you. I'm going to raid you tomorrow live on Twitch. You can count on it. TNO Crew, I guarantee you. All right, enough of me. Enough of me yapping. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna go edit. I'm gonna go edit this video, and I'm going to premiere this. I'm going to have an upcoming world premiere for my AEW Dynamite review on highlights at around 4:00 a.m. on YouTube. Make sure you guys like the video, share the video. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button for more wrestling content that I do on the channel. I'm really pushing. I'm grinding to 12K subscribers. So tell your friends and family to subscribe to my channel, because I'm on the road. I'm on the road to 12K, and I'm on the road to YouTube partner and being monetized on YouTube. And I need everybody's help. All right, have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here, gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet, gang.